From News 9, this is breaking news.
Okay, and that breaking news is kind of a continuation of that car that we were watching earlier. This seems to be the right vehicle. Jim, what's going on there?
3002, roger.
All right, Jim Gardner is live overhead. You could hear him talking to some radio traffic. Jim, can you hear us?
I know, I can hear. I'm with Wiley Post right now. Just hang on, guys. We got to clear traffic.
All right, well, we can tell you that Jim is overhead of what appears to be a very slow speed chase. We have been overhead this for several minutes, just keeping an eye on this vehicle. And just about, I'd say, a couple minutes ago, police, well, there you can see they are now pulling back behind that vehicle, and it appears that this chase may be escalating. For a while, that vehicle was just driving up and down the Kilpatrick Turnpike. Jim, can you talk to us yet?
Yeah, that's right, Dana. Like I said, we're in Wiley Post airspace, so we have to clear with everything before we can go live on the air here. We had a lot of traffic. We had to clear a lot of traffic out of our way because we are now southbound on MacArthur. Now, he's turning into a business here. He's turning into the 7-Eleven right here. This has really hadn't been a pursuit. It's been undercover officers following this SUV here. Now, what I was told, this was an armed robbery suspect. They have been shadowing this person for well over, probably up close to an hour, Dana. We have been to MacArthur, back eastbound on Kilpatrick, got off at Eastern, come back westbound on Kilpatrick, go back eastbound. So now he's behind the, I'm not quite sure what's going to take place here, but they've been shadowing him for quite some while as we, where's traffic, okay. Oh, hang on. News 9, roger that, we copy. I got you there. I'll pass on the other side of you. Okay, Dana, so we had to clear some traffic there. It looks like he pulled into the 7-Eleven here off MacArthur, just right before it's on 122nd. And I can't tell. He's still in the vehicle. He's still in the vehicle, and we have Oklahoma City police here now with their guns drawn. Like I said, I've been told this is an armed robbery suspect that they have been shadowing for well over, up to close to an hour, if not over an hour. For the first time we got on the pursuit, they terminated the pursuit, lost the vehicle. That lasted for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then they found the vehicle again, and so far we've been in the air for 45, close to an hour, shadowing this vehicle along with undercover police officers, and now Oklahoma City has just arrived on scene here. Now that person pulled into this 7-Eleven off MacArthur and north of 122nd. They now have their guns drawn. That person is still in the vehicle. Being an armed robbery suspect, they do not know if this person is armed or what. And the windows on this SUV are all blacked out, so you really can't see in. So they're being very cautious here. And like I said, this has been going on for a long, long time here. And the first reports is this is an armed robbery suspect. I don't know if he's got any other charges, Dana, but this is where we stand right here. We'll just toss back to you for a second as I deal with some more traffic. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9, back to you.
Jim, thank you. And we have some folks here in the newsroom saying it appears that the person in that vehicle has their hands on the dash, but again, you can see that there are several OKC police officers with their guns drawn, pointed at that vehicle. There you go. You can see his hands there. I don't know if appears that there is something in there, but obviously OKCPD police officers taking this very, very seriously as they are waiting for that man to come out of that car. Again, Jim is overhead. He is dealing with some issues as far as being a pilot and dealing with some airspace issues with Wiley Post. Jim, are you back?
I'm back, Dana. Yeah, it's we can see his hands on the wheel, Dana, on the steering wheel, but he is refusing to come out of that vehicle. And I believe he's the only person in that SUV, but like I said, the windows are so dark, we can't really tell. He put something up on the dash here, and you know, like I said, they got to be very careful here because this is an armed robbery suspect. That's the one charge I was told about by Air One when he was over this, that this was armed robbery suspect here. But again, you don't know the other charges because we had several undercover vehicles that was following this, which makes me think that there's more to this than meets the eye, Dana. But again, he is refusing to come out of that vehicle, and both hands on the dash now. And you know, it was pretty amazing, Dana. This whole afternoon, I don't even know what time it is. What is it, 2:53 now? I lost track of time. Right after lunch, we got on this, and he would drive down Kilpatrick and get off at Eastern, come back west, get off at MacArthur, get off MacArthur, come back on Kilpatrick, go back to Eastern. We did this all afternoon until finally, I think he realized that, okay, these guys aren't going to go anywhere, and then they brought in more Oklahoma City police units to help the undercover units, and then that's when they made this stop here at the 7-Eleven located here just north of 122nd on MacArthur. And like I said, this is how it's playing out right now. We just don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you're looking at Oklahoma City police officers, you're looking at several undercover vehicles involved in this, and there may be some OHP also involved in this. I haven't really looked around that much, but again, it's a very, very tense situation right here, Dana, because like I said, they don't know what's exactly inside that SUV with the blacked out windows here. So you're watching it just like we are and waiting to see if this person is going to give up or exactly what's going to happen here.
Right. Well, they were chasing another similar vehicle earlier today. That's how we got on this before they switched to this vehicle. So obviously they were looking for that car, Jim, or a vehicle matching that description.
Well, Dana, this is pretty interesting. When we got called out on this pursuit, we actually picked this vehicle up on the Kilpatrick. They kind of gave us a description. We picked this exact vehicle up, but then they told me over the air that that wasn't the vehicle. Then we picked up the vehicle they were talking about, followed it into a parking lot in a business district. The person got out nonchalantly and basically going to work, and then that's when they told me, oh, well, this was a mistaken identity. This is not the vehicle. So we started to come back to the station, but kind of hung around, and then that's when they found him at 122nd and MacArthur. And so then from there on, it was just a slow speed pursuit. I wouldn't even really call it a pursuit. He was just driving back and forth on the Kilpatrick between Eastern and MacArthur all afternoon. I think he was just trying to figure out if, you know, these guys were going to get tired. Air One, basically he run Air One out of fuel. Air One had to go in and get fuel, and because he basically just ran him out of gas. So we took over and kept him, you know, kept the vehicle in sight. And I think the undercover people finally said, okay, bring in more Oklahoma City police officers. That's when about 7 units converged on this van right here, and he turned into this 7-Eleven where we sit right now, Dana.
Yeah, and that's right when we went back on the air is when he pulled back in there and those police officers moved in. Again, we are just basically in a standoff situation there, a tense situation over top of Jim. What's the location exactly?
Okay, Dana, this is going to be north of 122nd. Now, another thing, they just now have blocked off MacArthur. You cannot travel MacArthur north or south north of 122nd. And if you're coming southbound from the Kilpatrick, you divert and go somewhere else because they completely block the streets off on MacArthur here. So no people can pass in front of this 7-Eleven just in case the worst scenario happens, this person comes out shooting or something like that, that there's, you know, they're going to try to get as many people away from this scene as possible. Now, the people in the 7-Eleven, they're kind of trapped in there. They can't come out the front door, and I really haven't seen, I don't know if there's a back door to a 7-Eleven or not, Dana, but I haven't seen anybody come out the back door, so they may just have them huddled down inside the 7-Eleven right now because they're going to have to try to clear. I think that's a Sonic that is just to the south of there, and then you have a self-storage unit that is all around the north side and back side. So the people at the Sonic and that area, they'll probably start clearing that away. But like I said, they got MacArthur completely shut down north of 122nd. In front of this 7-Eleven is where this person pulled into and stopped right behind on the east side of the fuel pumps there. And that's when they surrounded him, and he has refused to come out of the car right now. And, you know, we might be able to get some more information. You know, it's the traffic on the scanners have been very sparse. There hasn't been too much said about this, but again, it's
oh, here it comes.
Wait a minute, he may be finally getting out, hands raised, very smart.
He's got a cigarette.
So they'll have him lay down on the ground here, come forward, and lay down on the ground, and we'll see what takes place here. I guess he wanted to smoke the rest of these cigarettes there before he sat down.
I guess those are expensive cigarettes nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Dana, they are. And, well, this is a good ending, That nobody got hurt. There's nothing happened, but they have finally taken this suspect into custody. Like I said, Dana, it's been a long afternoon following this guy back and forth the Kilpatrick between Eastern and MacArthur several times. Now they're gonna go and check the SUV and make sure nobody else is in that SUV. Like I said, the windows are very dark, so they cannot see in.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out,
right
Jim. Yeah, what they wanted.
We'll see if they bring anybody else out. I can't really tell. It looks like they may be. Nope. So they cleared it. So now they'll just, search the car for any contraband, any weapons, and they got this person in custody. And like I said, it ended very well with nobody getting hurt, Dana. Jim Garber reporting live from Bob Mills, Scott News 9. Back to you.
Jim, thank you. And yes, a good ending to this one, but there are a lot of questions still out there, and we're going to keep working on those here from the News 9 newsroom. We'll bring you the latest tonight at 4, 5, and 6.